Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I want to explain how understanding your laziness can help you become more productive than ever. Do you ever have those times when you're feeling just less than motivated, don't really want to do something that you know you should be doing, you just want to take the easy way out? We all have those moments of laziness, and that is completely normal and completely natural. There's really nothing wrong with us having these moments of laziness, but it has been proven that during these times of lower motivation, we tend to fall back on our bad habits or our default behaviors. So when a person is feeling really motivated to do something, they can really get out there and accomplish pretty much anything, even the really challenging, difficult tasks. But if you're feeling tired or stressed or very low motivation, even the most simple tasks can feel defeating. And that's really the reason why we do fall back on our default behavior, because who wants to do something more challenging when you're feeling tired or stressed or overwhelmed? Our habits are a default behavior. It's something that we can really do on autopilot without a whole lot of thought. Think of how many times you have brushed your teeth before going to bed. It's just a routine, it's just a habit. And everyone has their own defaults. They have their own behaviors that they've grown accustomed to. The thing is, these default habits and behaviors can be either positive, such as brushing our teeth or exercising, or more negative, like smoking or spending too much time on our phones. But we don't need to accept all of our habits. We can change them. Think about your cell phone. When you first get your cell phone, there are some default settings. There is the wallpaper, the ringtone, maybe there's a certain time of day that it changes to a different mode. Those are default settings, but you don't have to keep them like that. You can update them and change them. And just like you can update your phone and make changes, you can do the same with your behaviors. And this is where, if we understand our lazy natures and tendencies, we can use that to our advantage. There is something called the 20-second rule, which is a theory that was first introduced by Shawn Achor in his book, The Happiness Advantage. In the book, he discusses his own challenges with behavior change, trying to drop some bad habits and adopt some new, more healthy ones. He had a desire, a passion, a vision and motivation to play more guitar. He really did want to do this, and he thought that if he spent less time watching TV, that he might actually play more guitar. But the interesting thing to note is just having that desire and having that thought of wanting to do something and really wanting to do it, it wasn't enough for him to make a behavior change. Because when he got home from work at the end of a busy, long day and was tired, he was feeling lazy. And he reverted back to his default behavior, which was to grab the remote control and turn on the TV. At first, he couldn't understand why it was so much more difficult for him to play the guitar rather than watch TV. After all, they're both fairly sedentary activities that don't require a lot of thought. So he started thinking about what excuses he was coming up with, what barriers there were in his way, and he began to realize that there were extra steps involved in playing the guitar. He had his guitar stashed in a closet in another room, and so every time he wanted to play, he had to go to that room, retrieve the guitar case, take the guitar out of the case, get it all set up and ready before he could even play. He estimated that those extra steps of retrieving the guitar took approximately 20 seconds of time. So 20 seconds was all that was holding him back from doing the thing he actually wanted to do. And so he made the guitar more accessible. He brought it out of the closet and got a stand to put in his living room so that when he got home from work on those tired days, he had the option right there in front of him. He had the guitar or the remote, and it was a lot easier to choose the guitar when it was readily available. However, this wasn't a foolproof solution because it didn't completely eliminate his desire to default back to watching TV. Cleverly, Shawn realized though that if he could take 20 seconds of barriers away and make something that he wanted to do more accessible, he could add 20 seconds of barrier to something that he wanted to cut out of his life. So he decided to take the battery and put them in a drawer in another room, making that task of watching TV 20 seconds harder. And that meant now when he came home from work after a long, busy day and sat down on his couch, The easier option, the more default lazy option, was actually to grab the guitar that was right there in the room rather than go to another room, retrieve the batteries for the remote, put them in to turn the TV on. He had made playing guitar 20 seconds easier and watching TV 20 seconds more difficult, and that is when the 20-second rule was born. Now, I bet you can relate to how Sean was feeling on some level, whether it's a goal that you're looking to achieve, a habit that you're looking to form, or some great event that you are trying to prepare for. We might have these grand ideas and really want to accomplish them, but we're just not able to get there by our own mindset. When trying to form a new habit, we do in the very beginning need to rely mainly on our own willpower, but the problem with willpower is that it is finite, there's only so much of it, and even when we go into the process feeling really encouraged and excited about the process, we, as time goes on, the more decisions that we have to make, we can develop decision fatigue, we can develop the exhaustion that sets in just from the day-to-day, having to make those decisions, having to make those choices, and that again is what's going to cause us to feel lazy, feel overwhelmed, and want to revert back to our default behavior. And that is why it is so important to eliminate those barriers away from those positive things that we want to establish. Get rid of all those things and make it just so much easier to do the positive things and really build up those barriers towards things that we want to eliminate from our lives. If you recognize that you have a bad habit that you want to change, such as eating too much junk food, make that 20 seconds more difficult to attain by not keeping junk food in your house. If you have to get out and drive to the store to buy something whenever you have those cravings, you're going to be less likely to do that. You know that I love simple and intentional living, and so whenever I hear a concept or read about one, I'm always kind of thinking about it in that framework and specifically how it relates to people and how they use their home environment. And so as soon as I heard this 20-second rule concept, my mind immediately went to the dining room table. Because I have heard the comment from so many different people that they really desire to sit down at that dining room table with their family at the end of a day and have a meal together. However, the piles of paper, the clothes that have been folded, just the general drop zone activity that has happened on that table makes them want to default to eating the meals sitting at the couch or just one person eating at the table, eating in shifts. And you really default again back to that easier thing. And so using that 20-second rule, getting rid of all that clutter and making it clear and easy to sit down as a family is going to make that habit a lot easier to adapt in your life. And I can think of 100 different ways how the 20-second rule can relate to minimalism and allow you to live a more intentional life. Another example would be in your closet. If you have a ton of clothes in your closet, all the different sizes, all different seasons, whether you like those clothes or not, everything is shoved into your closet, and you go to try to find an outfit to look presentable in, you may find yourself trying something on, getting frustrated that it doesn't fit, or that it doesn't look right, or you don't feel good in it. You're wasting not only time, but you're wasting mental energy by all of this activity, where if you made the process 20 seconds easier by eliminating the extra pieces of clothing that you don't wear anymore, you don't like them, they don't fit, you don't like the way that they feel, getting those out of your closet is just going to make that process of getting dressed so much more easy and also more enjoyable. All right, a little bit of encouragement here at the end of this video. I hope that you're able to apply the concept of the 20-second rule to all aspects of your life, whether that is goal setting or forming new habits and behaviors, just knowing that you're able to make those tiny little changes and that will help you make big changes in your life going forward. I also want you to remember that feeling lazy or unmotivated does not mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're incapable of achieving big things, but understanding why you're feeling lazy, it's just that you're feeling overwhelmed. You need to eliminate some of those barriers, get them out of your way so that you really truly can go the path in the direction that you want to go with your life. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.